show coming from the rack store. With this back in the Mac in the back flow. Let's go, chillin' with raccoons by the back door. Take calls so you can stake more. All I wanna do is making dough, right? But I found this crew and doing alright. We wreck, will bitch, ready to fight. So many raccoons ready for the boss life. I might fly high like a kite, right? But always ready for a shite for the right price. Raccoon supply has the right price. Giving you respect if it's likewise. So I'm buying all the mean guys with the clean heart. Read between lies, laser beam through lean eyes. Warrior with clean lies, trash mouth, mean smile, be wise. NFT wise, fuck with these guys. It's the rack rap from the back lab. 100 NFTs in my backpack. Crazy rack rap from the stash app. Rack will take a lead in this haystack. It's the rack rap from the back lab.
Good morning, RAC FM. Today is Tuesday, the 13th of June, 2023. And this is your special midweek day. Surprise, surprise. We got MUX Protocol in the house. Over to you, Robo.
Okay, guys. So maybe MUX has got maybe a little bit of a connectivity issue. I can't hear anything. Oh.
Hey. Can you hear me? Hey, guys.
Hey, absolutely perfect. Yeah, very, very clear. How are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. Do you know something? I'll have to ask this. What do we call you, by the way?
I'm Jean.
Jean.
Nice to meet you.
Excellent. Yeah. Very, very nice to meet you, Jean. Excited actually for this little conversation because, we've been predominantly focused on things like the Cosmos ecosystem for quite a long time. But in the last kind of couple of months and stuff, we've been interviewing projects from like different areas, Ethereum, Cardano, things like Layer 2s, Arbitrum, etc. So yeah, it's really, really good to have you guys on board today, yeah?
Thanks.
Yeah, I see you've been quite busy, mind. You've got the volume flooding through the platform right now, right?
Yeah, it's been a crazy while in the past couple of months, right? Because of I think one side is that because of the volatility of the market itself, and on the other side is that we are kind of finally reach the product market fit that has been doing and receives like some good feedbacks from the community. Yeah, so I think both factors contribute to the crazy stuff.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting one, Jean, because we can dive straight into it. I did think I was going to have a co-host, Bbandz. She has had a bit of a migraine at the moment, but she might be coming in. But Jean, what you guys or where you've arrived, right? You are this has been kind of like 2 years in the making kind of thing at the moment, right? Would you say that?
Sorry, you're cut off like for 2 seconds.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Is that okay now? Yeah.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, like where you guys are at right now, and the progression. It's like been 2 years or over 2 years in the making. It's taken, like, you guys have been building for quite a long time, right?
Yeah. It's been a long time. We actually started at 2019. It's like almost 4 years ago. So we actually at first we have a different branding name, which is MCDEX, and we have been launching the decentralized perpetual protocols. We are like building and shipping. Until last year, we have accumulated some experiences and lessons learned from what we have done before, and we decided to rebrand it to the new name MUX. And last year August that we first launched the MUX protocol, which is a decentralized perpetual protocol that has up to 100 leverage, zero price impact, etc. And at the end of last year, we furthermore launched the aggregator of the decentralized perps that we have integrated with GMX, GNS, and also for sure our MUX native pool. It's been a long history. Yeah.
Yeah, what was the like? Was there any kind of like specific reason for the rebrand, or was it the fact you were like launching like new products or a new avenue, and you decided upon the change? What was the catalyst for that?
Yeah. So on the one side is that the product itself has been totally different from what we have been doing in when we are still in the MC deck stage, because the we have been always using the AMM model to do the decentralized perps, but the AMM mechanism has been totally different from MCDEX stage, and we realized that we might like find a better name to match what our new mechanism will do. So MUX, MUX is actually short for multiplexing, which is a telecommute word term that is describing that you are utilizing multiple resources to make the full efficiency. So which is exactly the one of the key features of our MUX protocol, which is called universal liquidity. So what does it mean? It means that to make it simple, MUX is right now on 5 chains. Like Arbitrum, Avalanche, Phantom, BSC, and Optimistic. And so let's say if there's only 10 ETH on each chain, so the total liquidity on MUX is actually 50 ETH to combine them together. So we kind of have like unified liquidity feature, which is exactly the same concept of multiplexing itself, that we combined all of the liquidity together and make full capital efficiency of it. So yeah, so this is like one of the key reasons that we want to our brand name and that can imply the key features of our new protocol.
Brilliant. I mean, aggregators. Would you say that aggregators are a key to moving forward with DeFi? This aggregated liquidity, yeah?
Yeah. That is definitely something that we think is pretty critical. Because we have 2 observations for that. The first observation is that till now, I think there are more than 10 or 20 protocols already working on the decentralized perpetuals. And all of those liquidity are fragmented on different chains and different protocols. So it's a waste of resources actually. So that is something that we have observed. There's like some pain point for this space. And the second observation that we have is that for traders, they have some pain point too, that imagine that you are facing so many protocols. Actually, you will have like a tough time to decide which protocol to trade, because you want to trade somewhere that have the lowest cost, but it will be so hard for you to calculate, because for the decentralized perps, the cost is very complicated. It's not only the transaction fee, but also the spread, the slippage, and a lot of other things. So combine these 2 observations together, that we think an aggregator is actually is a solution to these two problems, that by aggregating those liquidity, we can help the traders to decide where it's optimized trading cost venue that you can go. And we help them to decide that for them, instead of that they need to decide for themselves.
Yeah, the trader-friendly aspect of the whole thing is really intriguing. I really like that. Jean, what we'll do is we do have we have a co-host and a guest speaker. So let me just say hello to everyone. Good morning, Bbandz. Is it good morning or lunchtime for you? Maybe good afternoon, yeah?
It's lunchtime. As you can hear, I'm trying to quietly eat my food. Good afternoon, everyone. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Bbandz.
Yeah, she's a big Arbitrum fan. Bbandz. She likes it over there.
GMX is my jam. I do love GMX, Arbitrum, all of it. I have a little food in my mouth. I apologize.
Well, Bbandz, you'll have to take a look at the MUX, because they're aggregating from several sources. But we do have, and what a guy to have in today with any questions. We do have DeFi Don, the legend himself. Hello there, Don.
How you doing?
Very good, mate. Thanks for joining us. I know you like a little bit of DeFi talk. Have you? I think we were talking earlier, and you were not so familiar, right, with the MUX? Yeah.
No, yeah, I've actually not familiar, never heard of it.
Pretty cool concept, aggregating though, Don. Do you think it's got a big part to play in the future moving forward? I've been a big fan of aggregators, like, you know, in Detiv and stuff, and for a long time, right?
No, for sure.
What do you
It's definitely an interesting concept. I think it'll actually really enable more liquidity to be more fluid. So yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, talking about the liquidity, I'm interested to find out about this MUX LP. But Gene, can you talk about maybe a little bit about like the company's ethos about this like trader-friendly approach? I see you're attracting some whales. I've seen Andrew Kang's been over there on the 100x leverage, right? Like, is this at the heart of like your ethos of the company, this trader-friendly approach?
Yeah, for sure. So I think we have, as I mentioned, that we have been in this space for almost 4 years. That during which time we have talked with tons of like DeFi traders, especially perpetual traders. That we are kind of confident we have like very familiar with their like feedbacks and what they want for DEX. So one of our key advantages, or the key features, is actually we are pretty user friendly. That we have spending tons of efforts on the front end to make it more smooth and seamless for traders. So that if you can try, I think if you're familiar, everyone you can have a try. That is pretty smooth on the front end. So yeah, so that's something we have been working on for a long time, because I think about 2 years ago, that one of the key blockers for adopting traders from the central exchanges is the user experiences itself, because they have been get used to the lightning fast speed on the central exchanges. So that's something we are trying to make it better. We are, for sure, it's because it's on chain, we cannot like reach the same level, but it's like become more and more similar. And I'm glad to see that also some other protocols have been doing the same, that for the user experience side, we have been doing a lot better in the past 1 year as a whole. I mean, for all the decentralized perpetual protocols.
So you've been like working on like latency quite a bit, yeah? That's something you guys have been focused on quite a bit?
I'm sorry?
Because latency, like making it, getting the finer, yeah? You've been working on latency quite a bit.
Yeah. And also we are trying to find some solutions to reduce those latency as much as possible. So yeah, thanks to all the layer 2 solutions, that is definitely one of the key, I would say the key movement here, that making the speed faster and the cost lower, that help us adopt more users.
I was about to say, yeah, because like it must be quite different with an aggregator to like a standardized kind of like DEX, etc., right? Because you're collating information from obviously like other sources effectively. You're having to execute. Mm-hmm. Like it must be quite a difficult, complex thing to like an aggregator as a piece of technology must be incredibly complex. Sorry, Bbandz, yeah.
I just have a quick question. So, where are you guys getting the information? Where, like, what are your oracles that you're getting the information from? Where are they coming?
Yeah. So for now, we are using an off-chain oracles for now, which is, we call it a dark oracle, but it's pretty similar to what GMX adopted before. That it's like we pull the price from the amount of central exchanges, and for now it's an off-chain oracle. Mostly because of the latency from the on-chain price fees. So it's kind of a trade-off for now, but we have some plans in the roadmap to decentralize them in a way. For example, we are also talking with some Oracle providers like Peace, which is kind of adopted by several other protocols as well. So we are in a way in the process to decentralize oracles now.
What was the name of that oracle you said that you guys were looking at? Pace?
I'm sorry?
What was the name of the oracle you said you guys were looking? You said Pace? I couldn't.
Oh, Pace, P-Y.
I'm sorry. I think you broke up.
Oh, sorry. Is it better?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Pyth. They are offering some like pretty similar structure with our current adoption of the Oracle. So yeah, we're talking with them.
Okay, I've never heard of it. That's why I was curious. I'm just gonna take a little peek at them.
Yeah. I think there are some decentralized perps already also or at least in the process working with them as well.
So, Gene, while I'm kind of focused on the traders, like I was really interested in kind of, I mean, whoever designed your system obviously has like a gigabrain, right? Mm-hmm. But I was looking at the different kind of aspects, etc. The fact that like there's no funding model, right? It's like borrow costs, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I was like looking at the spreads and that. Can you just explain the MUX LP? What? Because I obviously like the MUX LP's got like zero spreads and stuff, right?
Yeah. Right.
What exactly is it? The MUX LP?
Yeah. So first of all, I will explain a little bit more on the MUX LP itself. So generally speaking, the MUX LP model is similar to the GLP, that if LP provides some liquidity, for example, whether there is or BTC or some stable coin, and then that will be the liquidity will be transferred to whatever the assets we have in the MUX LP for now. And we have around like 9 to 10 assets in our LP pool now, including is BTC, stablecoin, ARB, BNB, etc. So they have like different weight. And the LP is basically acting as a counterparty of the traders. So for the LP themselves, that their major risk comes to two parts. The first part is the asset price up and down. Especially in the past 1 to 2 weeks, the market is brutal. So for sure, the asset price in our MUX LP is dipping a bit. And the second part comes from the profits and loss from the traders, because the LPs are the counterparty of the traders. So this is basically the MUX LP model. And as an LP, that their revenue comes from the protocol revenue. So which includes for most of them are the transaction fee that we get from the traders, and also some other fees like fundings and maybe some liquidation fees, something like that. But most of the protocol revenue comes from the trading transaction fee. Yeah, so this is basically how the MUX LP model is. And I would say for now, like the liquidity pool is around like $40-ish million. And in the past, like I think 2 weeks, the APR is around like 25 to 30%, which is relatively high in this market. So I think that is mostly thanks to the trading volume that has been pretty crazy recently. That I think our daily trading volume are around like $70 million per day. So yeah, so thanks to the trading volumes. And especially you made some whale traders, as you mentioned, Andrew Kang. So this is like the basic model of MUX LP.
Yeah, I've been looking at some of the recent like daily volumes. Mm-hmm. I mean, when was it? I think it was the 5th of June, like 144 million in 24-hour volume. I mean, that's pretty decent numbers by any stretch, you know. I think it was like nearly 100K was generated in fees, yeah, right, from the trading volume.
Right.
I mean, 100K Bbandz, 100K in trading fees in 24 hours. You know.
I know. I'm looking. I'm
In
looking
it,
at. I've never heard of MUX Protocol. So like, I'm actually looking through this as you guys are chatting.
Oh,
Yes, I am definitely.
it used to be called Monte Carlo Dex. That was its original name back in the day. It had quite a weird experience from what I remember. It was a particular time. I think it was after the May crash, but there was like this random, like massive, like dump of tokens or something, and it was quite a decent price, and it took quite a hit. But there was a whole kind of like rebrand, like redirection kind of thing into what you're seeing now, and I think it's this is why I asked them on the show. You know, I've been doing a lot of research, looking at a lot of stuff, especially over like Arbitrum and Optimism, etc. And I remember I was like, these guys Monte Carlo, wait a minute. And then I started researching and I'm like, wow, okay, we need to get them on the show, you know?
cool.
Oh, yes, Jane, I've known you for a long time, you guys. Don, have you got any questions or anything before we kind of delve in a little bit more? No, Bbandz is going to have some questions.
What chains are you integrated on so far?
So the aggregator itself is only on Trump for now. Yeah, sorry, I might forget to mention that we also have our MUX native pool, which is a decentralized perpetual protocol itself. So our MUX native pool is on 5 chains. That we are on Arbitrum, Optimistic, Phantom, Avalanche, and BNB chain.
So it'll be a cross-chain aggregator at some point?
For now, for the aggregator that we are only on the Arbitrum. Because for now we are integrated with GMX of Arbitrum to be precise. Yeah, and GNS is like we both integrate with them on Arbitrum and Polygon. And for the MUX, our native pool, we are integrated with our native pool on 5 chains. So it's something like a cross chain aggregator that we can make users to trade on Arbitrum, but actually what their position happen is on another chain.
So how deep is the liquidity, if you will? Did you hear me?
Oh, I heard you there, Don. Yeah, maybe Jane's having a little.
Oh, sorry. I was mute. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I only hear the word liquidity, but I kind of missed the last word.
Yeah. I said. How deep is the liquidity?
Use the liquidity.
How deep is the liquidity?
Okay. Yeah, it's around like 40 now on our MUX native pool.
Sorry, you kind of broke up right when you said
probably
it.
my side. Yeah. Is it better?
Yes.
Yeah. So for our MUX native pool, our liquidity is around $40 million. It's kind of it's not that huge yet. I mean, comparing to GMX. So what happens right now, MUX aggregator is that most of the, like the huge positions are routed to GMX, and the relative smaller positions are stay on the MUX native pool because our liquidity is a little bit like not that as deep as GMX.
Yeah, but you've been basically onboarding people that have been like GMX natives that are moving over for the leverage, right? I mean, Jane, answer the question. Are you guys all Dejans? Because like any platform with 100x lev, you're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. So that's we for our key contributors, because we are already operating as a DAO now, and for our key contributors, I would say maybe half of us are Dejans. We're pretty into the leverage trading ourselves as well. So that's why we kind of have a deep understanding and we are super familiar with those degen traders, what they like. So yeah, I think because we also have been in this space for a long time, that we have kind of get a sense of the degen traders.
Interesting. I'm going to come back to a few things. Bbandz, have you got anything?
No, now I'm looking at the optimism stuff right now. So that MUX has. So no, I don't have anything just yet. I kind of want to listen because I've never heard of MUX before, so that's why I think I need to be a little bit more quieter.
Well, Jane, if you don't, I mean, I know we didn't like kind of jump into it. We kind of have like our interviews a little bit of a different way. You can probably tell, But Jane, what is your like actual like position within the organization, if you don't mind me asking? And how long have you been there?
Yeah, for sure. I've actually been with MUX since day one, back in 2019 when we were still MCDEX. And I am basically taking care of the marketing and operation side, as well as BD. And for my personal experiences that I have been trading crypto for a long time. I'm also a future derivative trader before. And so it's been a wild journey that we are growing with the protocol itself. And for the team wise, that we're right now around like 10 to 12. So people that kind of globally distributed in the world.
So Jane, I heard you mention earlier the word DAO.
Mhm.
Now that's interesting because we're like DAO fanatics. RAC FM has its own DAO with the 6 members, etc. We do DAO summits. Can you just tell me, when you say the word DAO, it's often like confused as to what a DAO is. What do you mean? Do you mean like there's wallets controlled on multi-sigs, or can you like paint the picture of what you mean by a DAO for us?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I think like right now, like for DAO, we basically mean 2 perspectives. The first perspective is on the operational level, that we no longer have like a CEO or CMO or whatever. There's no like company structure right now. So what we have is that we have some core contributors that contribute to different aspects of the protocol. Someone is taking care of the dev work. One is taking care of the marketing and operation side. And so on the operational level, there's another thing that is totally different from the company structure, is that it's not the team. It's not the team made every decision. It's the DAO and the community that make the decision. So for now, like most of the key decisions are made through governance, and the process is that whenever there is something critical decisions need to made, we will make a proposal in our forum, and we will involve several key contributors from the community, some community members, to have a deep discussion regarding that topic and to test the water. And if everything looks good or not, so we will pause the proposal or move forward. So it's more like the decision making process is totally different from what we have, what the company structure will have. So this is on the operational level, and the other side, I think, is on the treasury level, that for a company that used to have the company, the assets, etc. But for the DAO, so all the assets that we have right now is in our treasury, and the treasury's assets is all in our liquidity pool right now. So basically, it's all of the funds that we raised from our last fundraising phases. So if we need to use some money from that treasury, so we also need to make a proposal to let the community to vote before we made those decisions. And so that treasury is controlled by a multi-sig, some key contributors of the protocol. So I mean, like, I think it's both like.
How many's on the multi-sig, Jane?
I think
5, yeah. Or is it is it like, what is it, like a 3 of 5, or is it like a 5 of 7?
Yeah, it's 5 out of 8.
All right, okay. Well, that's quite a decent multi-sig.
Right, yeah.
Jane, just as a little sideline, we often throw these little curveballs in, but obviously we're talking about, DeFi dations and stuff, but outside of like what you do and MUX Protocol, etc., like, do you do anything like, I don't know, with NFTs? Are you into NFTs, or is that not something like you look at or are interested in?
Oh, I used to be a great fan of NFT. I think 1 year ago, I'm the doodle fan. Yeah, I've been in the doodle fan like in the real world for a while, and then as long as it moved to the NFT world, I'm super in. Yeah, so the NFT world has been like also kind of calmed down recently as well. So I guess because of the general market situation right now, but I do personally besides NFT, and I also like also pretty much interested in trading as well. I mean, by myself. That, yeah. So that is like something that I do. That's basically all the things that I do. Oh, and also some investments. So I think that's basically all the things that I do in the crypto world.
What was the first ever crypto coin you bought? What was it? I remember mine was XRP, the first one I ever bought. What about yourself?
Oh, it's a mainstream coin, Bitcoin. Yeah, it's a long time ago. I think back in that time, no altcoin yet. Yeah.
Wow, that must have been like pre 2014, right?
Yeah,
Jane, yeah.
around that time. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I still know nothing about it.
You know something, Jane? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good with accents, right? Normally, you know, it's Bbandz. I'll tell you, like it's a speciality of mine. But are you in the States at the moment, right? Are you in the States?
Yeah, I'm in the States. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were talking. I think it was like West Coast time or something like that, right? But I mean, I live over in Asia. I've lived here like for a very, very long time. Yeah, like 11 years now, and I lived here before then. But yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to like take a guess, and I'm thinking like, I wonder like if you know, like there's some Chinese in the family maybe or something like that. You can tell you've like lived in America like kind of all your life, but maybe do I pick up on the right kind of accent or not? I might be really wrong.
Oh, I originally from China.
Ah, right. Okay. I've got quite a few friends from China. I live in Thailand, actually. So I've got like a couple of Chinese friends who were teachers, etc. That's what I do over here, you know. But there's another one, Bbandz. See, I'm not bad with the accents, Bbandz, right? Jean, the other week, I actually guessed that. Well, I didn't guess that she'd been brought up, but I was kind of like, it's a bit South African, but I detect Zimbabwe, and she's like, yeah, I was born in Zimbabwe and brought up in South Africa. So I'm not doing too bad at the moment. Right, Jean, give us some alpha about because I want to ask you about Arbitrum and the couple of problems that they've had, if you wouldn't mind commenting. But what about the future? Have you got like any, not alpha, but what lies next for what's V3 look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. We have been working so hard on like to developing our next iteration. So the first thing that we are working on right now is that we are doing some integrations with other protocols. For example, the SNX. That we are integration with Optimism SNX right now. That it's pretty much like. I would say a trigger for us to develop our optimistic ecosystem. Yeah. And another thing that we are looking forward a lot is on the V3, as you just mentioned, that, so for now, our model is hard to lose to the long tail assets market. So in the longer term, that what we are doing right now is to, we're hoping to use more, use a new model that we can list some long tail assets, especially for those, for example, the training assets to expand the portfolio of our market listing here right now. And so for the V3, I think we are now still in the pretty early stage that we're in the designing space right now. But I mean, for longer term, I think it will probably be launched within this year, but we cannot promise it. Yeah, it's just like too many stuff happen, too many like surprise happening in the space. So I would say probably this year, but yeah, I cannot promise that. But we're pretty excited about everything is gonna happen in the future, because we think the derivative space is like still in the early stage, especially with some of the fallout from the centralized exchanges, for example, FTX and everything with Binance right now, that we're thinking is a good timing for us to move forward, to push out more strategies and initiatives to adopt more users. Because for now, the decentralized perps is still like very, very small market comparing to the centralized market. So yeah, we'll do as best as we can.
I'm glad you actually mentioned that. Did you guys take like any kind of a hit with those two like Black Swan events last year? I think the Luna debacle and then obviously FTX swindle. Did you guys have to like redesign any business models or roadmaps or anything like that?
Actually, no. We used to have some assets like on FTX, but we like very quickly withdraw them once we saw the news. So yeah, so we basically have no loss regarding those two Black Swan events at all. Yeah, and also another thing is that the only thing is that probably because we used to list on FTX, and after FTX is gone, we're currently only on the decentralized exchanges. So we are not on the listing on any centralized exchanges right now. So that might be a little bit more factor that affect us a little bit, but we are also working on listing on more centralized exchanges, so which is not like a pretty big deal here. Yeah. So other than that, everything is pretty fine. Something that affect us is our determination, actually, because of those stuff that people are more into the non-custody solution instead of the custody solution. So I do observe a trend that more and more traders comes to the DEX, although it's a little bit expensive, and although it's like the speed is not as fast as the centralized exchanges, but this is a trade-off. Like I do see more and more traders come to the DEX to trade, which is good. Yeah.
100%. I mean, self-custody, I think, is going to be the biggest narrative in 2025 when we hit that like real bull market again. I think it's inevitable that it's like the ultimate dialogue, given what we've seen over the last couple of like bull runs. Right, Bbandz and DeFi done. We have about 15 minutes left, right? That'll bring us up about the hour, which is, about appropriate or whatever, if Jane's okay with that. I do want to bring in two big things, right? So Bbandz and Don, I just want to check if you want to come in with anything right now before I come in with these two big bombs.
No, all set.
Yeah, I'm all set too.
Okay. Right. Jane, Arbitrum. There's been two quite like prominent events of recent. The first one was obviously this DAO governance vote and, the token distribution that was kind of like just overruled. And then there was the chain halt with the sequencer issue last week. Have either of those like concerned you guys like as a team? I mean, did you wake up, to DMs and you're like, oh, what's going on? And it's like, oh, all hell breaks loose? Or what's been your opinion on these Arbitrum like controversies? Well, the first one was a controversy. I mean, the second one, I don't know what you call it, a hiccup or something. What do you think, Jane?
I'm sorry. It's probably my network. You cut it for like 5 or 6 seconds. So.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. Probably it's my network issue. Sorry about that.
No problem. Well, the first one was, there's two incidents with Arbitrum recently. The first one, though, what about this DAO situation? This alleged, like, governance vote that was just, like, ignored and the token distribution went ahead. There's been a bit of controversy, Jane. Has that bothered you guys with Arbitrum or not?
Oh, I see. Oh, the airdrop. Yeah. First of all, we do receive a large amount of airdrop from the Arbitrum community, which is grateful. And also, we are actually one of the first supporters for Arbitrum community. So we are like an OG for Arbitrum. So we know the team for a long time. I still remember that the first time I had a call with Arbitrum team, there are only the 3 founders and no one else yet. So regarding the controversy that you've mentioned, honestly speaking, that whenever it comes to those large amounts of airdrops, I believe the controversy is always there because there are too large amount of money like involved. I think for other community like optimism and whatever, I think there are also some controversies. So I think it's pretty normal because it's really hard to design the airdrop distribution, especially this is a huge one. But I think from my understanding with the airdrop itself, that they did like reward those who has been the long-term contributors of the Arbitrum community, and also they are working on like some other strategies to align with the goal of all the communities, not only the members but also the builders in the in the Arbitrum ecosystem, which is like, I mean, pretty and I would say like it's pretty not that like perfect solution, but it's still like kind of a fair enough like solution for the airdrop. So it doesn't affect us at all because we as a project we did receive a large amount and we have been using them as the incentive for the trading. Also we have been using them to reward some like pretty good contributors in our ecosystem. So
amazing, wonderful. And Jane, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
What about, was it last week, I think, when there was an issue with Arbitrum over the sequencer? There was a tech issue, right? There was a bit of a haul, right? So did that affect you guys or anything?
No, we actually have done a lot of work to remind our users that there is a haul, and we have taken care of most of the accidents if there is any. But for most of our traders, that they are basically not affected by the issue. So we have some like emergency plans for those kind of things, that we have our standard action plan for those. So we have also taken care of several events like that before. So from our side, it's not affected at all. Yeah.
You sound like you're a pretty sharp team, Gene. I must say that, mind. You've come on here today, you know, first time chatting to us, and you come across like very well. You and your organisation. I've been very impressed when I've been like diving, you know, kind of deep into you guys, and you know, just the way the maths is kind of like set up. Like you can tell that you've put a lot of like, you know, a lot of work into what you guys have done. Like I say, building an aggregator must be really challenging. You know, I can't even imagine it. Gene, actually, you know, the aggregator, was it like a labour of love, like your back-end devs and, you know, front-end respectively, but was it like really, really difficult, or did you guys like sail through that process?
So first of all, like that we are kind of already an expert on decentralized perps. As I mentioned, we've been in this space for more than 4 years, and building an aggregator is actually much more complex than, for example, the aggregator of a spot market. DEX. So for us, it is involve a lot of complicacy. For example, there are liquidation engine, etc., which is much more complicated than a DEX. So during the process, we do witness some like obstacles but our team, especially our dev, that we have been, you know, like written, I think more than like 5 or 6 smart contracts before. I mean, there have been a lot of iterations when we are still in the MCDEX stage. And we have been, send over the audit and receive the audit, and to change and to revise whatever the code that we write for a couple of times. So those engineers, I will say, they're very big brain and good at to solve those problems that we come through. So it's not like that hard, because we decided to do the aggregator, I think, in the middle of the last year, and then we launched it at the end. So it takes us like no more than, I would say, 5 or 6 months to realize that. So I would say it's not easy for sure, but based on the experiences and lessons learned that we have from the past experiences, I would say it's relatively challenging, but yeah, it's doable. And the result is relatively good, that I think we have basically reached the product market fit. And the next level, I think, will be just like to make it, the user experience is better, and to do some like small iterations on the current version, and doing some model I was upgrade for our next version. So that's all we have like been doing and will do for now. Yeah.
I mean, last one from me, Gene. We did touch on this earlier, but, and this is, you know, there's people in Cosmos that are like, you know, striving to be able to do this. Sort of at the TFM, we interviewed them the other week, but real like cross-chain aggregation. The only kind of issue we've got on like IBC Cosmos at the moment is like the relay situation for like someone like TFM, who's an aggregator at the moment, or one of their things. How long before we really do see like true cross-chain aggregation, like with you guys or anyone else out there? How far away do you think this is?
Actually, I think that's all depending on the market needs, because for now we are not having the position split, for example, which by position split, I mean that for now, one position will be only routed to one single liquidity source. We will now split the position to different protocols for now. That's mostly because actually we don't see a need from the market side, because GMX liquidity is deep enough to take whatever, no matter whatever position, no matter how huge it is. So from the market need side, we don't see a need from the market yet. But I think that's, well, depending on, like, for example, if we have like more and more trades and positions coming through, but we need to use cross-chain aggregation to solve that market needs, then I guess that's when we will dig more into that and to solve those problems. So we are pretty market driven this is one of our philosophy here, that whenever we are building whatever we are building, because whatever you are building, if there's no market needs, then there's no use. So our philosophy is pretty much depending on how the market needs. Yeah. And regarding
Jane, you're the first. You're the first person to actually say that. We've interviewed like quite a few, I would say, in the last like couple of months, about 6-7 people about, you know, cross-chain liquidity, etc., etc. You're the first person that's actually come in with a really based like opinion and say, well, you know, it depends on like the market. I mean, if it's required, then yeah, we might build it, but you know, it's not really needed. That's like one of the most based opinions I've heard for quite a while, actually.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, because we are always like crazy with all those like fancy concepts like cross-chain, aggregated cross-chain, etc. But yeah, from our philosophy, we think is really depending on how the market is. For example, I will use a real example here that, as I mentioned, that we have a key feature, which is universal liquidity, that kind of aggregate our liquidity on 5 chains, right? So we have that feature is basically because when we are launching our protocol, we realize that one of our key obstacles is the liquidity, that we kind of didn't track too much liquidity. So what we are thinking is how we can deal with this problem. So maybe we just like leverage all those liquidities on different chains and unify them into one. Then maybe we can have more capital efficiency and to take more trading volume. So this is how we come up with the idea, with the universal liquidity. It's also all based on solve the problem that we have. It's not all about a bit of fancy ideas. So this is always our philosophy here.
I tell you what, Jane, you've been an absolutely cracking guest, mind. I must say, a great MUX Protocol. Exceedingly bullish on what you guys are going to do, where you're going to move forward. Very, very bullish. Great representation of your brand as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we have been pretty practical in the space. As you can see, if you know our history, you will know that we're very practical to solve the pain points from the traders. Yeah, that's been all the things that we have been doing.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, Monte Carlo was there was quite a few decent whales that were talking and using it, and it's a dark horse in the industry. Gene, last one from me. We're on the hour. I can't let you go without asking this. And this is not MUX Protocol. I'm asking Gene, right? We differentiate. We've got an intelligent audience here, yeah. Leverage trading. There's always has been this stigma or blah blah blah. We saw Bbandz cut down the leverage dramatically, etc. We've seen what's happened. From that perspective, from a moral or ethical perspective, Gene, how do you feel about leverage trading? Do you think it's up to the individual to make their mind up? Are you a true libertarian like me? And I'm you take care of you, how this is the last thing. Leverage trading, Jane, from you, the person, how do you feel about it?
Well, first of all, it's risky. I have to remind everyone that it's for sure risky because I think leverage trading is actually a tool for pro traders or institution traders or if you are degen traders. Because you need to be aware of the risks that you are involved with. And as far as I see that many of my friends, they are using the leverage trading as a hedge or arbitrage or other financial tools. So this is a financial tool, very powerful, but that is also a lot of risks involved. So as a person myself, I do leverage trading, but I have my own philosophy for doing that. And I have my own risk control, mindset with me. So you can do that, but bear in mind that the upside and downside for sure before you are making that action. Otherwise, you will regret. So yeah, I have to remind everyone about the risks involved in the leverage trading as a person. Yeah, as you mentioned.
Correct. In my opinion, and I totally agree. In my opinion, it's no different to putting the keys in the car and going out for a drive. You risk, an RTA, a road traffic accident, any time that you go out in your car. It's exactly the same with leverage trading. It's the same as if you go out for a beer. You could be in a bar, somebody might knock you, you turn around, you get a punch in the face, you hit your head on the floor, you're dead. It's one of those things where, as an adult, you make an informed decision, right, Jane? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, right, you're using the right word. I think the informed of everything that you involved is pretty important for you to understand, to make a move before you're trading the leverage trading. And
Jane, do you use a lot of a TA? Just sorry to interrupt it. Do you use a lot of TA in your own personal kind of stuff? Yeah, obviously you do. Yeah.
A little bit. I used to, but for now, because work is kind of busy, so I don't use that too much. For now, I only do some training, swing trade or some trading trade. I don't trade as much as I was before. Yeah, so I guess that's also something. I think I've become more mature when I'm, grow older when dealing with the leverage trading stuff. So I think I regard it as a growth.
You're too busy flipping doodles. That's why, right?
Yeah, right. Just too busy to deal with all those kind of things. Yes, it's very stressful, if you're looking at a chart. So it's taking, too stressful for me for now. Yeah, it's just work is already kind of busy. Yeah.
Well, Gene, I really do want to say you totally got the vibe of RAC FM tonight. And I want to remind everyone again, guys, you know what we're like when we try to get people on the show and we get these people who are like, oh, can we pre-screen you? Can we, give you a list of questions that you can ask? We never reply. MUX Protocol, we literally just DM them like, guys, you know what? Like, we're seeing what you're doing. Like, we really want to get you on this. They're like, great, when? Bang, done. Like, and your woman's come on tonight and absolutely delivered a great performance. We've had like an hour and 5 minutes, well, an hour, because I was late. Twitter rugged me. We've had like an hour of really good kind of like insight into what these guys are doing. I do suggest everyone go and have a look at that. What, I know, like, it does cater for those kind of like higher trades or whatever, but like you've got to admire technology when technology is like really cool and doing interesting things and people who are building. So yeah, Gina, from the RAC family, I just really want to thank you. I don't know if Don's got, Don, have you got anything before we wrap up, dude? You've been very patient there.
No, I'm actually just checking in the website right now. I think she explained it very well. Yeah,
there you go, Gene. We often say this on RAC FM, when you pass the sniff test, the raccoon sniff test, we have a good nose raccoons. Honestly, Gene, thank you so much, though, darling, for giving up like an hour of your time today. We really do appreciate it, yeah?
Thank you for having me. It's a great chat here.
No problem at all. I mean, in the future, Gene, if you want to get because we've got devs who, hang around with us and who would love to come on and chat. But in the future, I mean, if you're going to drop some alpha or anything like that, anytime you want a little fireside chat with a nice little educated audience, you can always say, oh, we'll give RAC FM a call, and by all means, like, come and just drop in and have a fireside chat, Gene. You're part of the family now, okay?
Wow, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. We'd love to join.
No problem. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope you have a great day and a great week, okay, darling?
Thank you, you too. Thank you, guys.
Excellent. All the best for MUX Protocol. Right, guys, this is RAC FM signing off. We've had a great space. We are going to be coming back tomorrow with Ojo Oracle. So if anybody knows about the Juno prop, I think it's 306, right? We've got Ojo round about the same time tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we're following that up with Dove and Carter. Now, this is an Ambedo request special. Obviously, we've got a work stream on Freed Camp. So, when the team say to me, oh, Robo, we want this space, well, I have to arrange it. So Ambedo said, oh, the dream team Gigabrain space will be Dove and Carter. I've got all the questions. So we booked it. That is Thursday. That is 10 p.m. my time. I think that's 9 a.m. Mountain time, right? Says that Central Time or something, Mountain Time. So yeah, guys, big shout out to MUX Protocol. Big shout out to Don and Bbandz for coming up. I hope you've enjoyed another episode of RAC FM. I look forward to Finn's edit. Take care, good night, and God bless everybody. Wish you all the best. Bye-bye.
Motherfuckers screaming out loud, looking for mercy before they find themselves working a corner down in Jersey. What could be worse? Misrepresenting the first come, first serve mentality stuck in the burbs. I'll be numbing up first before discovering what works, and we'll see what other kinds of treasures under the dirt. We rape and plunder the earth, sit and wonder about the worth and play, ring around the rosy while the thunder is served. Motherfuckers walking around here looking faceless, trying to make a living selling friendship bracelets. Dead ends dragging out the max amount of payments. Red down days got them acting all bankless. Yo fam, what? Check these tokenomics. They probing this bear, flexing broken honest. I had to lay my soul down, I'm just roasting otters. And then to end a long day, 11 bowls of chronic. Never known to politic, I was born to frolic. It's been my policy to pollinate all over the plot. We got a lot of apologists jumping in at the top. We like to measure their velocity before they hit rock bottom. Over impossible loss, it's all moss, and I'm liking the odds. Fondue in the morning, forming mycological bonds. Flick the cap, yo, the road is highly involved. Flip a coin, diary evolve. Motherfuckers screaming out loud, looking for mercy before they find themselves working a corner down in Jersey. What could be worse? Misrepresenting the first come, first serve mentality stuck in the burb. burbs. I'll be numbing up first before discovering what works, and we'll see what other kinds of treasures under the dirt. We rape and plunder the earth, sit and wonder about the worth and play, ring around the rosy while the thunder is served. Trying to figure out the max amount of dinner laced, acting non-toxic just to get a better place, smacking on the hostage like the shit is play for keeps. Clowns, white knight, and all these Maybellines, they call it implausible when model after model keeps on ripping off the coat and going full throttle beats, tearing apart your community. All these low-hanging fruits bearing zero liquidity. Got a planet in reach, coming standard to each. I'm on the back 10 stargazing after the siege, commanding all the management to grab a few C's, and then we'll round up the beasts and send a messenger east. Y'all better sign a release when I'm bumping these beats. Hands up if I got motherfuckers drumming the streets. Yo, we got a few dubs, we got a couple defeats, and if you're coming for the king, you better have some of each. Motherfuckers screaming out loud, looking for mercy before they find themselves working a corner down in Jersey. What could be worse? Misrepresenting the first come, first serve mentality stuck in the burbs. I'll be numbing up first before discovering what works, and we'll see what other kinds of treasures under the dirt. We rape and plunder the earth, sit and wonder about the worth and play, ring around the rosy while the thunder is served. TerraSpaces.